Hi, my name is Jim Hagen. I'm pastor of Coeur Open Bible. We're in my office this morning with a couple that has been referred to counseling from the New Testament. This is Priscilla and Aquila, and they were friends of Paul. You know Paul that wrote most of the New Testament? Well, he referred them to my office. So we're talking about relationships today. And today I want to talk to you about teenagers and how to deal with teenagers. I've had a lot of experience with teenagers, and this that I'm sharing with you today is probably the most important thing I've learned out of all these years with teenagers, and it comes from a guy named John Bradshaw. He talks about children and the development of the brain, and he says that you'll notice that there is a development of the brain that's going to begin about age 7 or 8. About 7 or 8, the kids have a shift in their mind, in their thinking. Before this, it is a magical mind. Santa Claus works, Easter Bunny works, but afterwards they begin to change and it becomes more logical. You'll find a child after they've made the switch will say things like, hey, wait a second. I saw Santa Claus at Albertsons, McDonald's, and Safeway all at the same time. Now that doesn't make sense. They'll never think of it before because they haven't made the shift. What John said was very interesting. I've watched this happen a lot. There's a new shift that's going to begin at age 16. And it's going to take 10 years to complete. In this shift, their mind is finally capable of loving another person, not for what they can get in return. The phase has been called the me-ism stage. The me-ism stage. Me, I, me. Oh, enough talking about me. What do you think about me? If you watch kids, it's all about them. Egocentric. They're the center of their world. And then as they begin to go through this shift, if they're on time, a person can finally get to the place that they are in love with somebody else, not for what they can get in return. Now, we talk at the Bible college, and we have these guys say, oh, when my girlfriend walks next to me, she makes me look so good. And the girls will say, but he makes me feel so secure. It's always what they can get out of it. After they've made this shift, then they're finally capable of putting themselves in somebody else's shoes and thinking in terms of their good, not for what they can get in return. Okay. Now I find if a young lady is a mom, even an early mom, and she has to do all that thing that mothers do. They get up in the middle of the night and feed the baby and all that selfless act. And they always say this, you can have the last piece of pie. I don't like pie anyway. That selfless thing. Moms have a tendency to get there faster. I taught this in a class once, and this lady said, well, what about a 16-year-old girl who has a baby out of wedlock? I said, yeah. The baby's done something for her. The baby made her a mother. But how many 16-year-olds you know who have a baby who's mentally challenged and are mature enough to be able to keep that baby? Now, here's the difficulty. Usually, women are ahead of men in this area. Some guys don't get there until 36, and some guys never get there. It's always about them. Egocentric. The whole world revolves around them. I think that's probably one of the saddest commentaries on males in the United States today. Egocentric, it's all about me, it's all about me. And even when you talk to these guys, they'll take any conversation, they'll twist it and make it all about them. My challenge is that you get out of that. And if you find yourself always talking about yourself or changing things always to your perspective, this is how if you're that important, I think it's time that you grow up. Because it's not all about you. Actually, it's all about Jesus. Next week, we'll pick up another segment of how to make marriage work better.